Yan, nag-share comment. Good evening, everyone. I would like first to introduce my guest. He's actually not a first-timer in my live stream. He's an immigration expert, a lawyer. He owns a firm, and I have to say that their team of firm is one of the most trusted firm in Israel, and one of the well-known firm as well. They featured actually in a different news platform. And as far as I know, they have also a program in a television wherein you can, inquire regarding these matters and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, please welcome everyone, Attorney Tomer Warsha. Hi, sir.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Thank you. Do you hear me well? Everything is fine?
Yes, everything is clear and everything is fine.
Great.
So guys, kung meron kayong mga katanungan, kindly focus on our Q&A and our interview kasi very rare yung ganitong pagkakataon. So let's start with our conversation, or let's start with our topic. Since pandemic is, well, I am praying that soon it will be over and our life will be back in normal. But in this situation, our first topic is the development on entries and departure from Israel. Are the foreign workers like us, Filipino, can really exceed, like spending vacation outside Israel? Or is there any additional protocol that we need to do or to follow? Or this new group that, because we all knew that Israel is the leading country who are implementing the vaccination. I'm speaking about COVID vaccination. They give this green pass. Was it recognizable outside Israel, or what are the developments in general regarding the departure or arrival of people outside or entering Israel?
Okay, so first of all, good evening, everyone, and I'm here to answer your questions. And of course, if anyone during this live interview will have some questions, please go ahead. This is what I'm here for. So in the past 1 year, there were many developments concerning entries and exits to Israel. As you are well aware, at the beginning, it was possible to go and leave, and later on, there were some restrictions. Now, before the recent change along these few weeks, people were still able to go and come back with special approvals. It meant that you had to go and apply for a special approval to go and visit and then to come back, and it was possible. Nowadays, before the coming elections, there is no way for a regular vacation outside abroad. I mean, if you want to go now for a vacation, it will be difficult to come back as for now. Only in special cases they will allow your entry, and the relevant procedure about the caregivers is that the agency should apply for a caregiver to come to Israel in order to maintain stability for the employer. But unless they approve it in advance, I strongly advise to postpone every need for vacation, because after the elections, things can be different. They can be another lockdown. And let me tell you 2 stories to explain the situation. First of all, there was one woman. She was a caregiver for 5 years for the same person. And the employer was very happy with her. And then she wanted to go and visit her daughter. And she was afraid that they wouldn't allow her to come back. So she took out the money that was waiting for her, as you know, the money that she's supposed to get when she leaves the country. And then the
Mm-hmm.
employer wanted her to come back, but the Interior Office refused. So this woman, after 2 weeks of vacation, wanted to come back for the employer, but the Interior Office said no, because you already took the money that we
Mm-hmm.
spared for you before you had to go. And another thing is that there is a group of people from Sri Lanka that once the corona started, they left on vacation, but then they couldn't come back. And now they're almost 1 year waiting abroad without the ability to come back. So what I strongly advise, any vacation, any need to leave the country, wait, don't do it, because no one knows how long it will take and when they allow you to come back.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, narinig nyo guys na Attorney Tomer Warsha, as much as possible, he is advising na kung meron kayong planong magbakasyon, ipagpaliban nyo muna. Even though that quarantine or lockdown was already lifted, and medyo nagbukas na yung Bingorion Airport, but then, you know, the process or yung pagdadaanan nyo para makalabas at makabalik ng Israel is medyo complicated. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of processing that you need to undergo, or you need to follow or to do in order for you to spend or to exit or get back in Israel. So as much as possible, you know, kung may mga plano kayo. And one more thing, Attorney Warsha, with regards to this, I have a certain friend or a certain person that she relayed to me his problem with regards to this, because up until now, she's still in the Philippines, and the employer are no longer interested for her to come back in Israel. But what she's trying to ask me is, actually, she's seeking for a help uh, if there is any possibility that she can come back. So what are you trying to advise? Is it possible for her to come back even though the employers are no longer cooperating? I mean, with the help of the lawyers and everything, is it possible for her to come back, to go back?
How long she was in Israel before she left?
She's in Israel for 5 years, but there is no separation. She went back home to our country before the major lockdown, and I don't know if she is the only one left in our country, because as far as I know, all the persons or all the caregivers who spent their vacation has granted to come back in Israel.
So first of all, as you know, that if she's 5 years, then of course she can't come back. But if she left Israel when she was 4 years or less, and
Mm-hmm.
she was stuck outside Israel for this period of the lockdown or the corona crisis, then we can try to say that she has 5 total years to stay in Israel. It means that she has another 1 year and she wants to come back. So this is possible. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
it's better to contact an agency, and because if she wants to come back and she has an agency and she still have 1 year to work, then it will be possible to bring her back. I don't know if now before the election, but I assume that pretty soon it will be possible.
Yeah, because I think it is illegal to terminate as a caregiver or a worker without, you know, valid reason, especially if she spent vacation legally with the permission of the boss or the employer. Am I right?
Yes, but if she already worked 5 years and only then she went for vacation under the assumption that she can come back for the same employer, but then because of the situation it didn't work out, then it's a problem, because no one can say, okay, we will bring you back and now you will find a special visa. It doesn't work this way. So for all these people that left Israel, let's say from 4 years and above, from 51 months and above, Every caregiver that left the country for vacation and got stuck in his own country, he won't be able to return. And of course, it's not fair. And of course, it's one of the problems of this situation. But many people and many businesses suffer from this pandemic. So this is another thing that people suffer from, and it's not fair that it happens. But I don't see how the Interior Office allows anyone after 5 years to come back to continue to find a special visa. And one more thing about it, for all you people, the caregivers, after 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, if you finish your work, your regular one, and you are looking for a special visa, then you know that if you find someone decent and we do the right process, there's a good chance to approve it. But it's not the same if you are not in Israel. Then you lose this opportunity. There's nothing to do about it.
I see. So, kaya ganito I'm sorry sir if I'm also speaking Tagalog for the sake of my viewers, for the Filipino community. So, ganito kasi guys, before, hindi naman siguro natin masisisi yung mga kababayan na natin na nag-spend ng vacation sa Pilipinas before the first major lockdown kasi wala silang idea that the pandemic will going to be worse as ever. I mean to say, like, parang naging sobrang worse yung pandemic and it came to a point na na-banned yung, nagka-lockdown and hirapan silang bumalik. So, let's just hope and pray na yung mga kababayan na natin na up until now, na-stuck sa Pilipinas dahil nagbakasyon, makapalik pa rin sila dito sa Israel. Kasi nga, di ba, napakalaking loss for their part na mawalan sila ng trabaho, which is hindi naman nila ginusto in the first place. So, ayun, gaya ng sinabi ni Sir Tomer, as much as possible, sa mga panahong to, even though na wala na tayong lockdown, ipagpaliban nyo muna kung nais nyong magbakasyon. Or pumunta sa Pilipinas, yun, magbakasyon in general. Anyway, sir, let's talk about our next topic, which is the REFORMIC conversion. What is all about? Are the foreign workers like us will be benefited with this particular thing? Or okay, so who can avail this so-called REFORMIC conversion, and what is all about?
Okay, so first of all, this is a very big thing in Israel that happened a week ago, and I thought that it can be relevant to you, so I wanted to share it with you. It was a judgment of the Supreme Court in an appeal that was pending for 15 full years until it was finally decided last week. Now look, this one is relevant for those that want to convert to Judaism and want to know whether they can get an Israeli citizenship because of it. So now, first of all, for those who are Christian or carry any other religion and don't want to convert to Judaism, then this one is not relevant. But I have many clients from the Philippines that want to convert, that want to become Jewish, that they study for the Giur in all kinds of places, and they make a lot of mistakes because the places they study at are not recognized by the government. So they can waste a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of effort on trying to make the conversion, the Giur, and eventually once they finish it, they find that the government doesn't respect it and doesn't acknowledge it, and then they find themselves with nothing. So for all these people that want to convert to Judaism, this is what I'm talking about the right way and the best way, not only to convert, but also to be granted an Israeli citizenship. So until last week, only an Orthodox conversion was acceptable in Israel. Orthodox meaning that you had to go through a very demanding process of studying for Judaism. And you had to do it in one of two ways: either in a private institution that makes Orthodox conversion, or you had to go to apply to a special committee of the government, and most likely that you would be rejected because it's very hard to get their permission. But starting last week, and this is the huge announcement that I have now to tell you, since last week, the High Court approved to make the conversion in a reformic institution, meaning, for those that are not aware, a reformic institution, a reformic conversion means that this is not an Orthodox one. So it's not as difficult, it's not as demanding, it's much more modern, it's much more adjusted to the everyday life. And until now, the government and the Interior Office didn't accept it. So you could have tried to make this a reformic EU, but no one would have accepted you. So this would be for nothing. But starting last week, you can make this reformic EU much easier than it was before, and the government must accept you. Now, there are two conditions. One is that you will have a valid visa. It doesn't matter which one. So for all these caregivers, all of your people, all the caregivers in Israel that has the B1, they can make this conversion, and it means that they did it while they were legal in Israel. So this is a good thing. And the second one is to make sure that the conversion is honest and sincere, and they don't just do it because they want to become citizens.
Wait, sir. I want to insert a question with regards to the information that you are throwing up, or that you are trying to give us.
Yeah.
You are trying to tell us that reformic conversion, this is basically with regards to the religion. I mean to say, if you are going to convert to Judaism or to the Orthodox, so you are trying to tell us that as the foreign workers in Israel, no matter what nationalities are you, are capable to convert, and the chances are, if you are going to succeed of your conversion, there is a chance that you can get a citizenship in Israel. Is that correct?
So this is exactly what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, 1 minute, let me just adjust something here. So what I'm telling you exactly is that the proper conversion will grant you a full Israeli citizenship, meaning social benefits, bituach leumi, medical insurance, and of course the right to stay and work in Israel permanently, including the Israeli passport. Now, the government, this is a huge, huge thing. I know many Filipinos, they are interested in the Judaism, but until now they didn't have the right opportunity to do it. So this is the huge statement that we're having now. As from last week, it is definitely possible to make reformic EU and get an Israeli citizenship. There is a proper way to do it. It's not like you can do it every way that you want and get it. And of course, it's very advisable to be accompanied by a lawyer that knows what to consult you, so you won't take the wrong actions and waste a lot of time. But assuming you're making everything according to our advice, then it will be accepted, okay? Because we know exactly how to make it happen. We know exactly what they're looking for, and what is the right thing to emphasize, and how to instruct you. So this is a very big thing for all those that want to do it.
Wait, sir. You mentioned earlier that those who are capable to apply are the B1 handler. I mean to say, those who are B1 visa. So it doesn't. So it does mean that those who are special visa cannot able to apply, or they are also qualified for as long as they have legal visa or legal status for for the moment.
As long as you have a legal visa, even if
Ah,
it's a
okay.
tourist visa. So
Oh, wow.
definitely a working visa is fine. You just need to complete the studies and the GIUR itself along the
For
visa.
example, sir, how long it will take to study or to finish the course, for instance, in order for you to, to succeed with the conversion that you mentioned?
It takes between 6 months and 1 year.
6 months to 1 year?
Between 6 months and 1 year, it takes to study
Uh,
and to make the conversion, and then we
mhm.
start the procedure for the citizenship.
Okay. So let me just, ayan, I will speak in Tagalog, sir. For those who are currently listening, for our 140 viewers on board, Attorney Tomer Warsha, sinabi niya na ang isang paraan para kung gusto mong tumagal sa Israel, quote and unquote, is through reformic conversion. Meaning to say, magko-convert ka ng religion mo from Catholic to Judaism or Orthodox. But, may pagdadaanan kang pag-aaral, pag nakapasa ka in everything, naging successful ka, ang reward nito, maaari kang magkaroon ng citizenship sa Israel wherein you can get all the benefits like an ordinary Israeli citizen. So, di ba, it's such a great news for us na mga Pilipino or let's say foreign workers as a whole na nangangarap na magstay longer dito sa Israel. Isa ito sa mga paraan. Ayan, Mia Makareg, shoutout sa'yo. Pakinggan mo yan, ate. Thank you very much, Sir Tomer, for that for that information. And we have a question follow up with regards to our topic with regards to the topic that we're discussing. Where to study? Do you have some list where to study? She asked.
Yes, so I can send you later on a list of institutions that are well recognized, and so you can use, of course, definitely. I will send it later, and I just want to emphasize again, there were some people that came to me after they already made the GIUR, but then they found out after they studied that they don't accept them because they didn't do it the right way. Okay, so the way to handle it is, first of all, to consult and plan this procedure, because of course it has to be real and genuine. You can't just do it because you want the visa. You need to do it because this is what you want. You want to be accepted to the Israeli religion and society. But once indeed you're sincere, then it's easy to make it happen. And I have many clients that we took care of it for them, and they are now Israeli citizens like everyone else, with all the full benefits, of course.
Wow. So, sir, if for example, me, I would like to, to apply or to grab this reformic conversion. I want to convert my religion. So, by the help of you, are you going to recommend me to a certain school wherein I can, I can study the religion where I'm going to engage in? So, are you going to recommend, or are you going to help me where, where to study or what to do?
Definitely, of course. I will give you
so, malinaw na sa atin, guys.
A list of places and, and teachers, and of course, how to do it the right way so it will be totally acceptable. Okay? There are some requirements that we can explain in order that everything will be accepted.
All right. So, narinig natin straight from Sir Tomer that there is a possibility which is, recently inapproved niya lang. Actually, I have a story to tell you, Sir Tomer. Actually, I tried to apply. I signed a certain paper and I mailed it to a certain rabbi, but I didn't get an answer, unfortunately. So, maybe this time, I will try my luck once again. Actually, guys, I just want to advise you na ang pagko-convert, hindi lang yan dahilan na dahil gusto natin magstay sa Israel. I just want to let you know, I just want to remind you, if you are going to convert, it has to be from the bottom of your heart. It has to be your decision to convert to your religion, not by just getting the opportunity to become a citizen in Israel. Kasi there is how do you call this? Ano ba yung term doon? I forgot. Basta pag-aaralan kayo ng mga rabay kung dapat ba kayong i-grant yung application nyo ng conversion. As far as remember, ganun yung inaano nila. So guys, what are you waiting for? If you want a guide, or if you want a guide, or if you want to convert your religion, just contact Tomer Warsha Law Office, which is running in your screen right now, flashing on your screen right.
I just want to say one thing. You said before that you want to try your luck again. So what I'm telling you and the other people, this is not a matter of luck. This is a matter of planning it right. And if you find your people interested specifically at this topic, I'll be more than happy to be informing you specifically about this process. Let's say in a week or two after you gather some people and information, and I will come and speak more thoroughly about this option and to give you some more information.
Yes. Bulong lang ako ba guys, konti pa talas-das. Kasi bawal ang bake. Anyway, sir, thank you very much for that information. We'll surely put that in mind, especially to those who are planning to extend their stay in Israel, no matter how long they are staying right now, and they are wanted to extend their stay. Like me, I want to stay here until my last breath. No, seriously. Anyway, let's proceed with our topic, Sir Tomer. Let's talk about the visas. First and foremost, let's talk about the humanitarian visas believers who are entitled to apply for this. How many years you can consider yourself to get qualified with this program after your last employment?
Okay, so first of all, there are also some developments here that are relevant now in this corona crisis, because as you all are aware, almost 3 years ago, they changed the law and they allowed only certain people to apply for the special visa. If you're less than 8 years, you can find all kinds of employers. If you're more than 8 years, you need to be working only for very, handicap that has a special amount of percentage of handicap. Now the thing is that now during the corona, many things have changed. First of all, there are not many caregivers that are coming from abroad, okay, because of the lockdowns. So what happened is that there are a lot of difficulties for employers to find caregivers. So what happened is that the Interior Office, as you know, decided to prolong and extend all the visas every time. So now the recent news is that all the deportations and all the departures are extended until the 30th of June. This is number one. If someone already finished his work or was rejected, he can still work until the 30th of June. But the thing is that because of the corona, we succeeded to achieve very good achievements in the humanitarian committee, in the special visa committee. And we came up with a very creative idea. And this idea was that even for those caregivers that are more than 8 years in Israel, okay, or they don't qualify to any other criterions in the law, like, as you know, you need to work, you need to apply within 4 months from your last visa. and you need to apply only after your last employer died or went to a nursing home. So there are some restrictions, but what we succeeded to do is to come up with a special argument that says that during this corona time, the government must be more patient and
to take a consideration for at least, you know, extend the...
exactly. Now the government didn't want to accept it, so we had to go to the court. So we went to the court in many cases, and we have cases open in the court for even more than 2 years, meaning that even caregivers that couldn't continue to work in Israel, and they found employers that they know the committee cannot accept them. We took their cases to the court, and we succeeded to keep the cases open more than 2 years, and they are working, and it's legal, and we have warrants that no one can arrest them or deport them. So this is a very good solution. If you find an employer, even though you know that you can't work for him, sometimes we can find the right argument for you to take your matter to the court and fight it back then, and you will be protected. Oh, the only thing you need is a family that wants to fight for you. That family that really wants to employ you. And recently we took some cases to the court, and eventually in the court the Interior Office agreed to accept and to give the visa. I have one case, a very big case, that the Interior Office rejected the family. This woman, she was an Holocaust survivor, and she found the woman, and the Interior Office rejected them. So they went to the court, and even the court rejected them because they went without a lawyer. And they thought that it would be easy for them. People told them, don't worry, this woman, she's an Holocaust survivor, so everyone will treat you better. But even the court rejected them. So they came to me only after they already were rejected by the court. We had to appeal to a higher court, and we did it, and then we won. The district court sent them back to the Interior Office, and the Interior Office eventually accepted their application. So now she has a visa to work for this family, even though before she was rejected, both at the Interior Office and also in the court. So it's very important for all of you guys to know that if you find an employer and you need a special visa, the first thing to do is to consult us for the chances to win the case. And if we don't see a good case, we definitely mention it immediately. But if we do, then you will have the best chance to win.
Okay, let's just slice it up. I mean to say the information that you just gave us. I want to, you know, to make it chap-chapin natin mga te. Okay. Attorney Tomer Warsha mentioned na, is that correct, sir? Even though you are 8 years or more than 8 years, you can still able to apply an humanitarian or special visa nowadays because we are still on pandemic state, right?
Definitely.
But with of course with the help of immigration expert lawyer or with the help of the lawyer, it is more easy to apply for to get a special visa. But what can you advise to those who are looking for a special visa? Are they going to look for an employer which is older or younger? Are they permitted by the how do you call it, by the Misra Daplim? Or to those more than 8 years, they should have to look for an employer who are how do you call this, disabled or not more than 60 years old.
Okay, so first of all, that of course, if you are more than 8 years, and if you're less than 8 years, then of course it's easier. But if you're more than 8 years, if
it's
you're
more,
more than 8 years,
complicated.
Then you need, of course, if you find a very disabled person that qualifies the requirements of the law, then it would be easier. But what I'm saying is that nowadays, even if you find a different kind of employer, older one and not a young one, and not in a very difficult condition, we still can fight for you and work it out. We have many people that are coming to us from agencies. Some agencies are calling us and say, look, I directed this and this family, this and this caregiver to you because we know that it's better if you do it. So we are interfering at the prior step of applying to the committee. Many people think that it's better to apply alone to the committee and only if something goes wrong to involve a lawyer. But I think it's not true, because even when we go later to the court, it's always better to that the first application will be prepared properly by a lawyer that can later on argue in the court that the Interior Office didn't relate or didn't focus on the arguments that we submitted. And if you do it alone, only with the family, without a lawyer, they never know what to say. All they say in the application is that they have this and this problem and they want the worker to this specific worker. But this is not the right way to do it. Nowadays, it's very important to explain specifically why you are needed for this employer, because of the special treatment, because of your mentality, because of your experience, because of your language, because you agree to do this and that. So, you know, there was one woman that came to me. She's 99 years old. Okay, 99. She's almost 100. And she couldn't find any employer, any caregiver, because all the caregivers didn't want to start working for her because they were afraid that it will be very short and they will lose any future opportunities. So eventually, when she found one, the Interior Office said that they don't qualify. So we had to go to the court to work it out, and we did, because we said, if this woman, she's 99, she's so old, and she's in such a distinguished position, she's in such a specific situation, of course, we must have the involvement of the court. So what I'm saying, what I'm telling everyone, and this is what you need to remember, if you find an employer, no matter what, and you are more than 5 years in Israel, it's better to consult us. The first consultation, the first phone call, the first advice, we don't charge. So feel free to contact us. Only if we see that we can help, only if we see that we need to be involved, only then we can discuss the representation. But feel free to contact us free of charge.
Okay. Yun na niwanagan naman tayo, no, guys, na yung pag-apply ng special visa, even though that they are extending or they given a consideration because of we are still in the state of pandemic, regardless of the situation, the extension and everything, hindi lahat na-aaprubahan. So all you have to do, kung gusto nyong lumakas yung chances ninyo, mag-consult kayo sa lawyer, particularly with Tomer Warsha firm. Actually, hindi ko naman siya sa promote ng masyado, no? But marami nang nag-inquire na kapwa natin Pilipino sa kanya. And so far, wala naman silang complain na bad. They are, you know, they were entertained well. And kung meron chances, the good thing about Tomer Warsha is they will tell you directly if you have chance with the case that you are appealing or that you are trying to, you know, to win. So kung hopeless case ka, straight right away they will going to tell you that you are a hopeless ano ba yan? Hopeless case. Sorry na utalo-tala ko. Right, sir? Am I right? Because we speak about this last time. What I'm trying to tell is, if they were going to consult you and you see that their case is winnable or there is a chance to win the case, you are going to accept them. But if not, they were automatically you were not going to entertain, right?
Exactly. No charge and no interference.
Mm,
We have a reputation of 20 years.
yes.
I didn't present myself to your audience because this is not the first or second time that you invite me. Thank you very much. But this is the
Mm,
right moment to say that my firm is leading the immigration field
yes.
in Israel. We have 10 lawyers working only on immigration. We know all the people at the interior office and all the procedures and all the relevant laws,
Mhm,
and we know our ways. So if I see that the case is weak or that we don't have a chance to win, we prefer not to take it and not to start and save
mm.
our clients the money. This is not the way we do our job.
Okay. So we are finished discussing regarding the special visa application. We have a question in here. I don't know if still kung nandito pa si Donald, he asked, let's go back to with the topic with the entering or visiting Israel. I'm in the US. Is the entry to Philippines open now for tourists? No, no, it's not answerable because he's asking he's not actually in Israel. Okay. How if you are in I will answer this Miss Selena Morales before we proceed with Sir Tomer. According to Sir Tomer, those who are legally or still have legal status in Israel, meaning meron pang mga visa, ang makakapag-apply namang ng reformic conversion. I'm trying to say is that yung pagko-convert ng religion. Yung mga ano lang, may mga visa legally, yun lang. Okay, let's proceed now with fiancé visa. Okay, my question with regards to this is, what is the next stages you might get after the renewal of the fiancé visa? I'm talking about the possibility. Like, it is possible that those who are fortunate to sustain the support of his or her partner will eventually get the blue ID, or let's say without reaching the period that has given to couple before getting the blue ID, the partner release, or let's say they had an argument and decided to cancel the visa, or let's say the partner died, is there a possibility that the said visas will be forfeited or the loan partner can still continue with that visa?
Okay, so this is a big question, and I will divide the answer to
Yes.
some parts. First of all, as you probably know, in Israel there are two ways to get visa because of based on a spouse and based on a
Mm-hmm.
relationship. One is with marriage, and one is without marriage. This is the fiancé visa, and of course for the Filipinos who left many, husbands or wives behind, and eventually they got separated, then probably the best thing is the fiance visa and not marriage. So for the married couple, the process until you get an Israeli citizenship is 4.5 years, and for fiance visa, it's a process of 7 years. And after 7 years, you don't get a citizenship; you get
Mm-hmm.
a permanent residency, and only after
So
another.
wait, Sir Tomer. So you mean to say everybody who got a fiancé visa, they need to renew those visa for 7 years. Then after that, they will going to get the citizenship.
Okay, so they will have to renew for the first 3 years a working visa,
3 years.
a general
Mm-hmm.
working visa that allows them to work anywhere. After
Uh-huh.
3 years, they will get a temporary ID, which is a
Mm-hmm.
temporary residency, and only after another 4 years, altogether 7 years, they will become a permanent resident, not a citizen. A citizen
Mm-hmm.
will carry an Israeli passport. A permanent resident will not have a passport. It will take another year at least before he can become a citizen. Now, so it means until you become a citizen, it's a process of 8 years. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if if you separate in between,
Mm-hmm.
then the government immediately want to
Cancel.
forfeit, want to
Yes, it will
cancel and
cancel.
forfeit your visa and send you back to your country. But it's very important to know that there are many ways to fight it, and
Mm-hmm.
we succeed to keep the people in Israel. One time, if you have children, of course, but even if you don't have children, we can keep you here depending on the circumstances of your case. So we have many people that indeed got separated, but we succeeded to keep them here. Now, it's very important uh, to know what to share with the Interior Office and what not to share. And I wanted to speak today, with your permission, of course, about the most important thing of the visa process, which is the interview at the Interior Office.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this interview means, the process means that, let's assume you're in Israel and you have an Israeli girlfriend and you live together. First of all, you need to know that even if you're a caregiver, even if you live in and
Mm-hmm.
you see your girlfriend only on weekends, even then we can fix your fiancé visa. You can keep your caregiving visa and also start the fiancé process. Now, of course,
Wait,
that we
with regards to that, sir, how about if you are married in the Philippines and you are not yet separated? You can still apply for fiancé visa.
yes. And let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you why. Let me tell you why. It's very simple. And I tell you this based on my experience, of course. The fiancé visa uh, was started in order to allow people that cannot marry or don't want to marry to have a life together.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that some people in Israel, they don't want to marry each other or they can't marry each other. Let's say if you have a wife in the Philippines, so you can't marry another person in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So the Interior Office wanted to allow those Israelis to have the ability to have a family and a spouse without the need to marry. So this is how this entire fiancé visa started. And according to this rule, according to this principle, there is no need for you to divorce or to annul your marriage in the Philippines in order to get visa in Israel. And we have many clients that we succeed to get them visa. Now, the Interior Office wants you to try and start a process of annulment. So, of course, we
Mm-hmm.
advise it to our clients, but you don't need to wait until it's done because it takes few years. And even if you can't even start it, even then we have the way to work it out. So, and it's important that you brought it up because I had many, many people that came to me and they were not aware of this issue. They thought that as long as they're married, they cannot even start it.
Mm-hmm.
I had couples that they were even 5 years together without taking any actions with the Interior Office because the woman was still married in the Philippines, and I told them that of course it's possible, and we made it happen.
Oh, wait, sir. I have a question with regards to that. What if to those who applied or to those who to those who applied who is not yet who are not yet separated, who are not yet divorced in the Philippines, are they obliged to do so eventually in order for them to get the citizenship once the period of renewing the fiancé visa is over?
So here I will tell you the right way, the way the law sees it, and the way the Interior Office sees it, because it's two different ways. The law
Mm,
allows you to become a citizen and to finish the procedure of fiancé visa, even by having another wife or husband in the Philippines, as long as you prove that this relationship is in Israel is the only relationship you're involved. Meaning, you
Mhm.
can't have two different relationships. You must have only one relationship in Israel, and the fact that you are only registered as married in the Philippines, if we can prove that you are no longer together with your wife, you never went to visit her, you're not in touch with her, you don't want to be with her, you want to be only with your girlfriend in Israel, then we can work it out. The Interior Office can try to demand some requirements at this matter. I'm telling you that we can overcome it because the law doesn't say that you need to be divorced. It says that you need to be separated.
Mhm. I got it. So, guys, narinig natin straight from Tomer Warsha. Yung mga may motik dyan yesterday, yung may mga jowa-jowa ba, kung gusto nyong kumuha ng, I mean to say, yung may mga jowa ng mga ibang lahi, for yung mga Israeli citizen, kung gusto nyong kumuha o kung gusto nyong mag-fiancé visa, pwede daw. Even though that you are still married, walang problema. They can able to fix it. Kasi sa Israel, for as long as they prove na yung kinakasama mo, yung kinakasama mo ay yun lang, walang magiging problema kahit nakasal ka sa Pilipinas. Pero, dito siguro sa Israel, wala, no? How about sa atin, matipasuan ka ng, matipasuan ka ng asawa mo? Di ba? Alam mo naman sa atin, yung mga naghahabol, knowing na meron ka ng kinakasama dito, tapos kakasuhan ka. Well, siguro hindi na natin hindi na natin tatanungin yung Sir Tomer Warsha kasi hindi na nila yung covered yung basta sa atin. No, Sir Tomer, because I'm telling them that because in Philippines, even though that, let's say, you are not yet officially divorced or separated, some other Filipino or some other couple, they used to make problems. I'm trying to tell you is that in the Philippines, they have the right to sue you, especially, let's say, you have a relationship in here with an Israeli citizen, and they knew in the Philippines, they can sue you that you are, you know, you are not obliging the law of a married couple, or they can sue you like, you are cheating and everything. They can sue you in the Philippines. So that's what my concern is. You can make an also an arrangement for that particular thing if ever. I mean, yeah.
You know that we work only in Israel, we don't work in the Philippines.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to relay them. That perhaps here we don't have a problem because it's in Israel. You can apply as a visa even though you are married in the Philippines. But in the Philippines yesterday, meron tayong mga kababayan hindi papayag, di ba? Na kahit na wala na talaga kayong communication at all, ang gagawin ipapatulpo ka, besh. Kaya, I don't know. So, this is just only an information that coming from Sir Tomer Ward that to those who are interested to apply for a fiancé visa, but I'm trying to tell you, even though that you are still married in the Philippines, you can still apply in Israel a fiancé visa. Kayo nang bahala sa mga kayo nang bahala sa mga asawa niyo sa Pilipinas. But here in Israel, they can legalize it. You can apply fiancé visa even though that you are not yet divorced or separated with your couple in the Philippines. Pagdating sa Israel, apply ka ng fiancé visa. I hope you guys got it. Anyway, Sir Tomer, last thing that we are going to discuss. We talk about the fiancé, we have a question in here. Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. It's not opening. Sir Tomer, I have a question here. Are you or your firm also helping for a refugee to extend their working visa?
Yes, of course. I didn't mention it because I didn't think that in the audience you have people that it's relevant to them, but we are experts on refugee law. I used to lecture to the UNHCR and also to other lawyers about the refugee cases. We represent many asylum seekers and many refugees. Let me tell you a
Mm,
nice story. Let me tell you a nice story from last week.
mm,
We represent many asylum seekers, but most of them are from Africa or South America and so on, also from Myanmar, from Burma and Sri Lanka. But last week we had a great success to one of my clients that I really want to share. There was one Eritrean person that was acknowledged in Israel as a refugee, and he had an
mm,
Israeli residency. And he came to us 6 months ago, and he told us that he has a wife and 4 children that he didn't see for 10 years, and that he wanted them to come to Israel to live with him. And
mm,
they ran away from Eritrea and they was waiting in Ethiopia. So we
mm,
applied to the Interior Office to bring his entire family to Israel because he was a
mm,
refugee and he had the right to protect his family. And last week, we got the decision from the Interior Office that they approved his application, and his wife and his 4 children that he didn't see for 10 years got the permission to enter Israel, and they're about to get Israeli IDs
wow,
to live with him forever in Israel. A huge success.
wow, great news. Anyway, sir, are we Filipinos specifically, are we entitled to apply for a asylum or what do you call it, refugee visa or not?
Everyone is entitled to apply, except for one rule that you need to apply within 1 year from your entry to Israel. Now, for those caregivers that work like 5 years and they want to apply later, you need to prove why you didn't apply before, why you didn't
Mm-hmm,
apply immediately when you came to Israel. The thing is that I didn't hear of any Filipino or Filipino that have a problem of asylum, because an asylum request means that you cannot get the protection of your own country. Only
mm-hmm,
if you have a problem that your origin country cannot handle or doesn't want to handle, only then you can go to get an international protection. So let's say that
mm-hmm,
in Sri Lanka, for instance, if a person is gay and he cannot go back because he will be punished because of his situation,
it's
then we can
forbidden.
then we can apply for asylum in Israel, and we do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on your case. If you're afraid for your life, you can't be protected in your country, and you can prove your case, then of course we can apply.
Okay. The last thing that we are going to tackle or to discuss, because we discussed it the past interviews that we had. This is with regards to the residency visas. Are you guys still helping those who are wishing to get a residency visa? What are the process or what are the situation that they can able to apply or they can able to win the residency?
Okay, so first of all, of course, we continue because, as you know, and as I spoke before, we got a very good precedent
Yes, yes.
a year or two ago about this, that we got a residency for a Filipina that used to work for 13 years for a same family. So even then, we succeeded to help some more people and to bring it up to the special humanitarian committee in Israel, also for other Filipinas under the same circumstances. So even here, I'm telling you that some of the people contacted my office and wanted us to help them get this humanitarian visa, this residency visa. And after I questioned them, I told them that it's a waste of time and money, because the most important thing is the time. How long you're in Israel.
Yeah.
Of course, you need to
The
believe.
more years you stayed in Israel, the more chances of become successful of applying, right?
Exactly. If you stay here for 15 years, 16 years, whatever, then of course we can fight for it. Because, as you
Yes.
know,
Mm. Because sir,
as you,
this is my stand with the state, with the information that we're going and that we are discussing. Because come to think of it, we the caregivers, we are spending our half of our life in Israel. So I think there is a chance that it is served as a reward for us to those who are dreaming to stay longer in Israel or to get, a stay forever, right? So I think as far as I remember, Israel is very, very nice. I mean, the people, the government, they are considering those factors for you to stay, for you to be granted. That's why we have special visas and everything. So I was just amazed with this kind of thing that, you are guys are doing for us, especially those who are wishing for, longer stay. So, yeah. So thank you so much, Sir Tomer, for, for helping us with regards to this kind of thing that we want to achieve. Anyway, you can continue, sir. Sorry for the interruption. I just take my.
I just want to tell you that we do it because I strongly believe that this is the right thing to do.
Yes.
I totally admire all you people that come here to take care of elder Israeli citizens. I know
Mm,
it's a very difficult job. It's a very demanding job, and in Israel they allow you to work the regular job for 5 years.
mm,
So if you do it a triple time or 15 years or so, and you devoted your entire youth and your entire years of prosperity, and instead of developing another career, you chose
yeah.
to work in this difficult job.
Exactly.
This is exactly why I believe that indeed it's supposed to be a reward, and this is why we take these cases, even though they're not easy, because we believe in them. And as you know, if you believe in someone, in something, then you will do whatever it takes to win. And these are the cases that I really, appreciate the most, that we succeed to help people in places that other lawyers didn't succeed, and where we
Mhm.
think it's right.
Yes, definitely. So, ayun guys, let me just relay once again. Tagalogin natin, no? So, yung mga naghahangad na mag-apply for residency visa, it's not a law, actually. Pero, sa firm nila Sir Tomer Warsha, na ipapaglaban nila to. Na-report na namin to the last time na meron isa sa yung successful story na yung isang Pilipina natin nakakuha ng residency visa dahil pinaglaban nila. He spent 30 years in Israel for like 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. Ayun, nakakuha siya ng residency. So, like what Tomer Warsha said, na the longer years you stay in Israel, the more chances of, getting successful of applying for residency visa. Yeah, that's it. So guys, if you want to apply or to ask for any information with regards to the topic that we are discussing right now, you can actually call Tomer Warshall office at 0356115845. Nasa screen natin. Anyway guys, what else? I hope na lahat yung mga na ibabato namin is clear sa inyo. Okay, let's tackle some questions in here. According to Maya Marie, hi, good evening, sir. I just want to ask regarding second special visa. Is there a tendency you can get it if your employer not willing to give second special visa? Are they possible
So,
to get?
first of all, for in the situation that the employer is young, or is very disabled, then you can have a second special visa. Other than that, we need to find the right angle. We need to find the right circumstance to argue for it. Even in a situation that you think is hopeless, if we can prove that this is a very important match to the Israeli person, to the Israeli need, then we can go to the court to try to approve it. Because again, this is what I just said. We need to believe in something in order to fight for it. And I strongly believe that all these restrictions of the government are not necessary and they are not needed. If an Israeli employer finds it difficult to find the right caregiver, and then eventually it does find it, but this caregiver is 9 years in Israel, or we had a special visa before, so what? I think it doesn't matter. I think that we need to respect the need of the Israeli employer that needs and wants this special caregiver. So we go to the court and we do our thing in order to try to approve it. Of course, it's not easy, but if you really want to do it, if you have the right employer to support you, this is the most important thing. You need to have the right employer to support you, then we can fight it in the court.
Okay. So it's clear that you can still possible to get a second special visa with, of course, pag-aaralan yung situation, and of course, para gusto nyo mapadali with the help of the lawyer. Anyway, guys, before... Oh, it's okay. Go ahead.
I just want to give you two examples of successes that we had in cases that you can't believe. One thing is that we succeeded to get visa to a husband and wife. I had Filipinos, a husband and wife, both of them in Israel. Both of them were working for the same employer. The woman worked for the wife and the man worked for the husband. And I succeeded to approve both of their applications, even though you know that a husband and wife cannot work together in Israel. This is number one. And another thing is that I succeeded to get permission for a caregiver to stay here with her daughter, even though the daughter became 6 years old, meaning that she already, the woman was in Israel more than 5 years, so usually you need to send your daughter home. But I succeeded to keep her here for 6 full years, and until the employer died, and now we're applying for a special humanitarian visa, residency visa, for the caregiver with her child in order to continue to stay in Israel. So we succeeded to get great achievements in places that people could not believe. So what I'm telling you, if you have the right case, just give us a call. We will tell you on the spot if it's possible or not. You don't need to waste anything. You don't waste any money. We will tell you if it's possible or not.
Yes, definitely. So guys, before we proceed to our last topic, let me just enumerate the topic that we had discussed para dun sa mga late viewers natin. First of all, yung diniscuss namin ni Sir Tomer Warsha regarding the entry to Israel and exit. According to him, Tagalogin na nga lang natin, mas maiging kung nga plano tayong magpakasyon sa Pilipinas, ipagpaliban muna natin. Kasi, as of now, medyo komplikado pa talaga yung sitwasyon. Diba? Maraming papers na kailangan natin i-submit everything, saka may mga special cases na pinapayagan. So, kung gusto nyong wag maantala, as much as possible, diba? Ahupain muna natin yung sitwasyon. We are still in the state of pandemic. So, to those who are, wishing to spend their vacation in Philippines as much as possible, wag mo nang ituloy. And with regards to the reformic conversion, sa mga naghahangad na mag-convert ng religion, pwede kayong mag-convert. For as long as you are still in a legal status, meaning meron kayong visa na legal. Doesn't matter how long you are in Israel, for as long as you have B1 visa or special visa, pwede kayong mag-convert ng religion to Judaism and Orthodox, something like that. What are the benefits or what are the advantages? You can acquire the Israeli citizenship pag in-approve nyo. And lahat ng benefits as an Israeli citizens, ma-acquire nyo. So ano pang hinihintay nyo dyan, guys? Pero ang last lang natin i-advise na yung mga nag-wish na mag-apply, huwag naman yung dahil gusto lang maging citizen. Dapat yung bukal sa kalooban. Kasi religion na yung nakasalalay, diba? Yun lang naman kung yun yung mga option. And one more thing, with regards naman sa residency visa, sorry, my throat. I got that dry throat. Anyway, yun, with regards naman sa special visa, extension ng special visa, may extension tayo. Kahit 8 years na kayo, you can still apply for special visa. At as much as possible, kumuha ng advice from the lawyer. Is nandiyan yung firm nila, Atty. Tomer Warsha, para lapitan ninyo kung meron kayong concern with regards to the special visa. And yung sa fiancé visa naman, like what I have mentioned earlier, na pwede kayong mag-apply ng fiancé visa kung hindi kayo kung kahit kasal kayo sa Pilipinas. Pero yun nga, meron yun ng consequence kasi baka mamaya magbalagan yung asawa nyo sa Pilipinas. Pag-isipan nyo rin mabuti. Pero kung wala nang problema, why not? Push, di ba? And then, one more thing else, yung residency visa, isa pang yun way para kung gusto nyo mag-spend dito ng matagal na panahon sa Israel. Sa huling hininga nyo, okay? Basta, the more years na in-spend nyo dito, the more chances of winning the application of residency visa. So, yun lang. I just made a summarize with the topic that we discussed to those who are, just entered with our live stream. Anyway, happy viewing sa ating 112 viewers. Okay, our last topic, as a closing remark as well. Sir Tomer, what are the latest relevant achievement and immigration issues for foreign workers involving Filipino and other nationalities? Okay, we discussed already how about this, the REFORMIC, residency, what else? Sir Tomer.
So first of all, what we already spoke about some several issues and the right topics. I wanted to share another thing with you. It's a small thing but a big thing, if you allow me. And this is about the fiancé visa, but specifically about something that can eventually make many applications be rejected. So I wanted to share this thing with you. And we started to talk about it before, which is the interview that a couple needs to go through at the interior office. And for those that have a fiancé or partner in Israel, you need to apply. You need to present the right documents. You need to present some certificates from the Philippines. You need to present proofs for your relationship, and then they call you for an interview. And they interview you alone and your spouse alone, and eventually the person from the interior office sits with any one of you and asks you questions. He writes down your answers, and later on he has these two papers, one with your answers and one with your spouse's answers, and then another officer takes it to read both answers and to see whether indeed they match or not. So we had many couples that they were a couple. I'm going to the court. I'm going to the court the day after tomorrow for one of my clients, an Israeli and a Filipino, who are together for 8 years. And they have residency, temporary residency, and so on. And they applied for the permanent residency. And suddenly the interior office rejected them. And not only rejected them, he told the spouse, the Filipino, to leave the country. Why? Because they asked them some questions and the answers didn't match. So what I wanted you to know, that there are some techniques of how to answer. And let me give you a small example. Let's assuming that they ask you, what did you eat last night? Or when, where did you visit last Saturday? Or when was the last time you saw a movie? These kinds of questions. Okay, so some people will say
Those
different.
questions are matters in order, for your application to be granted, right?
Definitely, this is the most important thing. The interview is the most important thing. No matter
Yeah.
how well we prepare you, if you don't answer correctly the interview, they will
Mhm.
reject you, and it will take a long procedure in the court to overcome it. So you need to answer the right way. And let me just give you a small example. If I ask
Mhm.
you, uh, what is the favorite dish of your partner? Okay, what is the thing he likes to eat most? And you will say one thing that you think he likes to eat most, but your partner will say different thing. Okay, and
Mhm.
let's assume that he likes to eat both things, but you said
Mhm.
only one thing and he said a different thing. So when the officer reads both answers, he will see that they don't match. Okay, so one of our tips for this interview will be just to give a wider answer as possible. If they ask you what your spouse likes to eat or who are his
Uh,
friends,
mhm.
don't give one name, don't give one dish, just give few. Okay, try to show a variety so it will be much more easier or a better chance that the answers will match. Okay, so there are many
Mhm.
tips that we advise to our clients. If a couple is about to be sent to an interview, first of all, they come to our office, we sit with them, and we
Mhm.
simulate the interview. We ask them the questions, we explain to them how to answer them, and eventually we improve their chances to pass the test correctly and get the visa. It will save them money, it will save them time, it will save them energy. So this is something that I really strongly would like to explain. If you're about to apply, if you're about to face the interview, it's very important to hear from an expert how it should be. So you will go there when you are fully prepared, when you are fully familiar with the way it will happen.
Exactly. So, malinaw po yun guys, kung mag-a-apply kayo ng fiancé visa, ang pinakaiingatan or you have to be careful when it comes to interview. Kasi marami talagang bumabagsak dyan. You know why, sir? I had this idea, okay? Perhaps the thinking of the interviewer or, the government of Israel, because lots or there's certain cases that we have people that they are just, buying those fiancé visa. They are not actually dating or they're not actually couple here in Israel. So that's why it is better to know your partner in order for you to win the, so you win the application. Am I correct?
The thing is that, first of all, we don't represent people who are not really couples because, as I said, we have a great reputation. The thing is that even a real couple, eventually, I'm telling you, I had couples even with children. Even
Uh,
with children together, that the interior office thought that they're not a real couple because they didn't face the interview correctly. And this is why I
mhm.
really strongly advise get the right preparation.
Okay. Ayan. So, yun nga guys, sadyang dapat pag nag-apply tayo ng fiancé visa, you have to know your partner. Huwag kayong be careful sa interview kasi pag bumagsak kayo doon, mawawala yung chance nyo na makakuha ng visa na, yun nga, which is the FIANCEE. Noted, sir. Anyway, we have a question in here. Good evening. How about it if I'm here for 16 for 16 years? 12.5 years I worked in one employer before here in Israel. Is it possible that I can apply for temporary residency visa but I'm not working too old or autistic now? Just cleaning the house. As part-timer. This is what he was trying to add.
If you clean a house part-time, it means you work illegally without visa, because the visa is granted only for caregiving, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you work illegally, of course, then you need a special circumstances in order to get visa. And we succeeded before in different cases, but it means that you need to have children or a special medical problem. And then even if you're illegal, we can work it out. But unless you have children or a special humanitarian condition or medical condition, then of course it cannot work out.
So guys, clear na po yun. Miss Che and Jade Villa, unfortunately, I guess, di ka na po pwedeng mag-avail nun kung if you are working illegally. So parang advisable lang ngayon if you are still legal in nature. So, yun. This is what I have to advise you guys. Let's say, for instance, you are still in Israel, working for longer years, like 15 years and above. If you are guys wanted to get or to avail the residency visa, all you have to do is to apply as much as possible while you still have an employer. Kasi pag nawala yung employer nyo, it is questionable. Questionable already. Diba? So, it is important na habang buhay pa yung amo nyo, kung gusto nyo mag-avail ng residency or permanent residence, magpa-backup kayo. Am I correct, sir? It is important with the help of, with the help of the employer. It is more advantageous. It's an advantage. In short. Exactly. Okay, guys. I hope that we did this interview well. If you guys if you still have more questions to ask, all you have to do is contact Tomer Warsha Law Office. It's 03-561-5845. So if you guys still have, questions in your mind na hindi nyo na ibato dito sa ating interview, pwede nyo siyang contact. Anyway, Sir Tomer, thanks once again for gracing up this interview, for giving us the new information. You know what, sir? I'm more interested about this conversion of the religion, really. So perhaps I will contact you and ask you for
Call me tomorrow. Call me tomorrow. I will help you. No worry. Don't worry.
Yes.
Definitely. It's a great opportunity.
Yes, and once again, guys, Sir Tomer is a trusted law firm, of course, headed by Tomer Warsha itself, and napipictured sila sa iba't ibang news platform that they are fighting for the right of the certain cases, specifically the, visa issues. So walang doubt. And they are not accepting you, or they will not going to accept you if your case is open. So it is free to ask, or it is free to inquire. It doesn't cost you any penny, right, sir? All you have to do is call their law firm office. Marami na tayong, I think, sir, there's a lot of Filipino who are already contacting you for help, right? Since we started with this interview and everything. And you won already many cases fighting for visas and everything, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
I really love your community, and we get many phone calls from Filipinos, and I really like to help them all.
Yes, and it is always a pleasure to communicate with you. At least, it fed up my knowledge with regards to the law or with regards to the opportunity that I may get while I'm still here in Israel. How to apply residency here in Israel. Marie-Chris Luga, kung meron ka ng 15 years and above, all you have to do is contact Tomer Warsha. And according to Marie Chris Luga, he's a great lawyer. I saw all his work successful. God bless you, Sir Tom. Indeed, right? So, yun. I guess this is the end of the conversation. Once again, Sir Tomer Warsha, do you have a parting words to our viewers? We still have 112 viewers on board. Go ahead, Sir Tomer.
I just welcome you to fight for your rights and not to be afraid. If you want to, if you love Israel, if you want to be here, we'll just try to do our best for you.
That's great. Once again, guys, thank you so much, Sir Tomer, and God bless you. More power, and hope that you can have more strength, especially for us, the foreign workers, specifically Filipino community. If we have problems, eventually, we can just like it. You are right. You are just that's this phone away. I mean to say, we can message you, we can call you and everything. So guys, kung meron kayong mga advices and cases na gusto nyong ilapit, all you have to do is to call Tomer Warsha Law Office.
Thank you so much for having me. And I hope that your audience got some more information.
Yes, indeed. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sir Tomer, Laila Tog. And this is the end of the conversation. I will phone you up tomorrow for my concerns. Thank you.
No problem. See you again. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. So, ayan guys. It's the end of the conversation with Sir Tomer Warsha. I hope guys na naliwanagan yung mga inquiries natin. Again, iisa-isahin ko from the start. According to Sir Tomer Warsha, ang pagpasok or paglabas sa Israel ay sadyang complicated pa. So, mga nagpaplanong magbakasyon dyan, as much as possible, i-postpone yung pagbabakasyon. We are still in the state of pandemic. Alam nyo naman yun, guys. So, kung meron kayong mga planong magbakasyon, ipagpaliban nyo muna, di ba? Kasi time will come, matatapos din tayo sa pandemyang ito. And na-consult ko nga sa kanya na meron tayong kababayan na up until now, na-stuck sa Pilipinas, hindi na makapasok. The reason behind is that, pineject na siya ng employer niya, hindi na nakipag-communicate doon. Kung napapanood mo to, girl, perhaps makipag-communicate ka kay Sir Tomer Warsha, maybe magagawa ng paraan. Kasi 5 years na dito sa kabayan. Pero, according to Sir Tomer Warsha, kung 4 years, much better. Diba? Kasi yun na nga, hindi naman natin ginusto. Diba? Nagkaroon ng pandemya, bago mag-lockdown, maraming tayong kababayan ang umuwi ng Pilipinas. Almost 100% ay nakabalik. But unfortunately, meron tayong naiwan sa Pilipinas. Yun nga, actually dito sa Israel Trabaho sa Kabayan, from there, with regards to my post, nagtanong siya sa akin. So yun, rinilay ko nga yung niya kay Sir Winston and sa FFC, I hope I'm not mistaken. And then, ano ba yung topic na diniscuss namin? Ayun. Ang na-excite talaga ako, guys, with regards dito sa REFORMIC conversion. You know what it is? Kumbaga, yung magpo-convert ka ng religion. Last week daw, nagkaroon ng parang arrangement or something like that na parang gina-grant yung pag-apply or pagpo-convert mo ng religion. Mag-aaral ka for like 6 months or to 1 year. And pag nag-grant yun, pag naging walang problema, maaari kang magkaroon ng Israeli citizenship. Wherein, ano ba yung advantage ng meron kang Israeli citizenship? Of course, lahat ng benefits or lahat ng mga benefits ng isang Israeli citizen ma-achieve mo, di ba? Pero dapat sa pag-convert, it doesn't necessarily mean na gusto mo lang mag-convert para magkaroon ka ng citizenship. Dapat bukal sa kalooban kasi ang gini-give up mo is yung religion mo. Am I right? So kung gusto mo mag-convert, by all means, they can help. Actually, makakatulong sila with regards to this matter. Okay? And what else? Yun, na-discuss din namin yung about sa extension of special visas renewal or special visas application. Wherein maraming nare-reject, but fortunately maraming nagsasucceed. and na-extend ngayon for up to like 8 years and above, you can still apply for special visas. But case-to-case basis yun, pag-aaralan yung sitwasyon nyo, kung capable ka pa and everything. But with the help of our lawyer, mas mapapadali yung processing. But guys, I just want to advise you na kung pipili kayo ng law firm or ng lawyer, yung trusted. Hindi yung narinig nyo lang, di ba? Kasi sabihin na natin guys, siguro sabihin nyo sa akin na parang, baka na may mera lang yan. Nasa sa inyo naman choice nyo naman yan Like what I have said, sila Sir Tom or Warsha naman, sabi ko nga, kung hopeless yung case mo, hindi na sila papatol or i-reject agad nila right away. Pero kung winnable naman yan, may return bang winnable? Kung may chance naman yan, ilalaban nila until the end. Pero, guys, alam nyo naman, pag magpo-consult ka sa lawyer, may bayad. Nandun na tayo, di ba? Pero kung sa pagbabayad mo na yon, di ba, magkakaroon naman hino yung future mo, why not? And one more thing, sa fiancé visa naman, ito yung naloka ko, na you still apply for fiancé visa even though na married ka sa Pilipinas. Ma-arrange nila ito. But the thing is, gaya nga ng na-mention kay Sir Tomer, which is hindi naman nila covered na pag nag-demanda yung asawa mo sa Pilipinas. Real talk na to, di ba? Tayo, halimbawa, yung asawa mo nag-a-abroad, pinapadalan ka, nagkagalit kayo, sinabi mo, wala na tayo, pero hindi siya pumayag na nag-divorce kayo, tapos nakahanap ka ng jowa dito, pinaglaban ka, gusto mo mag-fiancé visa, in-apply nyo. Pero kahit hindi pa kayo hiwalay sa Pilipinas, not officially divorced, nag-complain yan, hindi na nila sagot. Dito lang yung sagot nila sa Israel. Kasi Israel law yun. Dito, pwede kang mag-apply ng fiancé visa even though that you are not yet divorced. And lastly is about the, anong tawag dito? Ayun, residency visa. Okay? It's not a law. Wala pang inanong law na meron tayong application ng residency visas. But with the help of a lawyer and immigration expert, for instance, mawiwin nila yung case na yan. Kasi ang Israel, nagbibigay sila ng consideration. Especially kung kalahati ng buhay mo, in-spend mo na dito. Diba? Come to think of it, nag-spend ka dito ng 15 years or 20 years, for instance, nandito na yung half ng kabataan mo. So, feeling ko naman talaga, kasi marami na rin akong narinig actually, na nag-grant ng ganong kaso tahimik lang sila. And recently nga, pinost ko yun dito sa Israel Trabaho para sa iyo kabayan, na meron tayong kababayan na nagtagumpay, nakakuha ng ng residency visa dito sa Israel. And now, yun, in-enjoy niya yung residency visa niya. So all you have to do is to consult a lawyer. Di ba naman kayo, nasa sa inyo naman, choice niyo yan kung, di ba, gagawin or not. So yun lang, maraming salamat. And pasensya na kayo kung minsan, alam niyo naman, English yung kausap natin. Hindi naman ganun tayo ka-fluent. But at least naitawid natin ng bangbong. So, good night everyone and good luck sa mga mag-i-inquire, sa mga may planong mag-apply, ng mga na-mention ko. Lala Tobli Kulam and God bless us all. Bye. Peace out.